joined by a good friend, Kobe, who many of you may know from Discord as Emperor Spike. Kobe, people may not know the like outside of Discord version of you. So maybe if you want to give a little intro about who you are, what you're doing for Latitude, and maybe a little bit about yourself, that maybe like one hidden secret that no one knows that they can bother you about now for the rest of the time on Discord.
Yeah, I'm outside of my online persona. I'm a software developer. That's why I'm at Latitude. It just so happened that I loved playing AI Dungeons so much that I bothered the CEO on LinkedIn until I was able to work here. So now I get to contribute to the grand multiverse that we control. Um, but I think the coolest thing about working here is just how involved like everyone is in everything they do, like not just the code side, but like everyone has a hand in the community. And it felt really good to be able to just jump into the Discord and be like, yeah, I'm Emperor Spike, and nobody called me out on it. Nobody called me out. I just got to declare myself an emperor on day one. It was great. So until someone strips that title from me, best company in existence. Truly.
Well, it's difficult for us to call anyone out when like my assumed title is hamster in chief, right? So it's like the uh, the the status symbols are all distorted, I think, on our Discord. It's all fun.
It's almost like the smaller thing you are, the more power you actually hold in the company. Like
That's right.
hamsters are very small, but that is the seat of government is held by the hamsters.
That's right. Small and unassuming is exactly the spirit animal that is appropriate for Latitude. That's correct. At some point, we need to actually. I think that many people don't even know the origin of the hamster and why it's important to the community. Um, we may need to get into that at some point.
Would it be terrible if I admitted that I don't know where the hamster came from? I just ran with it.
Oh, well then maybe we should get into it now because I feel like you should know.
Yeah, that's
Um,
my embarrassing secret. I didn't know where the hamsters came from.
well, let's kind of have this be our soft intro. And actually, before we get into that, our plan today is to do kind of just a playthrough of AI Dungeon. And Kobe's a great player of AI Dungeon, so he'll be driving today. But while we're talking about the origin of the hamster and why it's part of the lore for AI Dungeon, if all of y'all want to drop some suggestions on any scenarios that you might want to see, we are taking suggestions. And so since it takes a minute for sometimes the live stream chat to catch up, figure we'd drop that early, and then we can talk about the origin of the hamster. And I'm going to see, and actually, if someone wants to on Discord send me the image, I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. Also, I know someone here probably has the image like on like quick link or something, but if someone wants to send it to me on Discord, so I can even screen share it. Here's what happened. Um, a couple years ago, believe it or not, scenarios didn't have images at all. It was just so the scenario card or the scenario kind of tile that you could use to kind of click on a scenario. It was just text. We didn't support images at all, and we were interested in adding images just to make the discover page more interesting and to give creators another option to express themselves. We also wanted creators to have the ability to kind of like develop their brand and kind of develop a kind of a look and a feel. So it's like, all right, we should add images to scenarios, but um, we knew that we needed to have some sort of an image filter. So we implemented a service called Hive, and Hive AI checks for. Let's see. I thought I got. Oh, let's see. Someone said perfect. I got the message. Thank you, Hawk. Perfect. Hive AI checks the images for kind of inappropriateness, and there's a bunch of different things. Nudity and violence and gore and all that stuff. And we were trying to dial with the things. So we were playing with Hive with our Pioneer testers, and uh, we had this image get flagged as completely inappropriate by rating system. Let me pull that up right now. Window.
I'm on the edge of my seat. It's not even just a hamster, it's a really cute hamster. It doesn't look menacing in any way.
No, there is nothing about this hamster that could be even remotely inappropriate. And the Hive filter is like, no, cannot have this on the platform. And I trying to remember what it even scored for. It was something bizarre, like um I even hesitate to say because it was, I believe it was like some inappropriate things. But yeah, this was the hamster that got flagged by the image reading, and as being NSFW. That was what came back as. It was NSFW, and we're like, how is this NSFW? So we started kind of joking about the hamster, and it was too cute, and that because it was so cute, the Latitude team would get distracted and wouldn't be able to get any work done. So therefore, it wasn't safe for work, right? That was that was sort of the joke at the time, and then it just kind of evolved. And I think one of the reasons the meme kind of evolved is because I think that the AI scoring sort of like being so off and so wrong, it's almost like this self-deprecating joke about AI Dungeon itself. Just the fact that like AI Dungeon and generative AI in general, like it has its moments where it hallucinates and it gets things wrong. So in some ways, like I think the reason the hamster has sort of resonated is it's become sort of like this self-aware joke that AI isn't always perfect. And it's part of the experience, right? Like that's part of what makes AI Dungeon unique. I mean, especially in the early days with like the Griffin model in particular was like that was notorious for like just going off the rails and like doing kind of wacky, insane things, but like it was kind of funny too. It was fun. So this is the hamster that started it, and the jokes just kind of kept going. It cascaded. It started with that, and then at some point we started joking that the Latitude team was hamsters, and then it got outside of the Pioneer group into the community, and suddenly there were stickers appearing, and the lore just grew and grew and grew. But the genesis of all of it was a misrated image from our image rating long time ago.
So in a funny like self-predictory way, the meme actually became like a detractor from work because we spend so much time memeing on it. So now maybe it actually is not safe for work.
Yeah, it has crossed the threshold. It's it's this cyclical loop now that we can't avoid. So it's anyway, it's hilarious. It's funny to me that like this is the one, but yeah, this was the image. And as you can see, I think Dragranus was the one that had this flagged on his scenario. And of course, Dragranus is always good at breaking the system. So that's the genesis of the hamster lore. And so anyway, kind of a fun. I think it's fun. I you know, if I had started out and someone's like, pick an animal to represent the company that you are working for and you're really proud of and you're excited about, I don't know if hamster would have been the one that I would be like, that's the spirit animal. But because of like what it came from, I love it. I think
Yeah,
it's awesome.
yeah, when I think AI Dungeon, hamster isn't the first thing that comes to mind, but it's the juxtaposition is what makes it great, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for admitting that you didn't know the origin of the hamster so that we could talk about it here live. Thank you, Hawk, for sending that to me so quickly because I was going to have I can't, I'm like an old man brain. I can't multitask and talk and look at Discord at the same time. That just doesn't work. So appreciate the help digging that up. Well, cool. Um, should we get into the game? I don't know if let's see. Do we see any um, scenario suggestions that jumped out at you? I'm kind of
There were some I saw, but then chat flew by.
that's true. Then we got
It
chat about
became
the
very
hamster.
hamster related very quickly. Um,
Fair enough.
I see Nocturnus Eternum. Oh man, every time chat moves, it scrolls back down to the bottom. I don't know. I also had a few ideas too. I've never done like like courtroom in AI Dungeon, which I feel like would be
Oh, that'd
kind
be
of fun.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm curious if there's like an Ace Attorney. Someone must have done it, right?
Yeah. We should I'll jump on and discover too and see if we can find one while you're looking as well. That's a good idea. I made a world in Voyage that I really liked, that I wish there were more of on AI Dungeon. I made like this. So for those of you who aren't aware, Voyage has this really, really rich world building system. It goes far beyond what scenarios have, and which is both good and bad. The good is like, man, when you play a world, it's so real and living and like vibrant. The downside for me, because I'm not that great of a creator, is it's a lot of work to create. So we have this AI tool that helps you flesh it out. Anyway, I had this idea of where I wanted like this like 1800s like Jules Verne um, fishing village scenario where there's like a sea monster who is taking over the town, or not the town, but like intercepting the fishing boats and the trade routes and stuff. And that's basically all the description I give, the little prompt, and then the world builder went and built it for me. But it was fascinating. It came back with like there was like this church group that was like seeing higher attendance because everyone was afraid of the monster. There was like this whole coalition of like mariners that was going to go see the like see if they could figure out what the sea monster was. There was like this inland group that was going to find alternate trade routes. Like it built all this like stuff around. I was like, oh, that's cool. Anyway, but like that 1800s like Jules Verne, like I don't know, like Treasure Island, that sort of like genre theme. That I don't see as much of that on here as I used to love reading that kind of stuff when I was growing up. We don't see as many of those. I wish we did. Well, Kobe, are you finding a good courtroom scenario?
I did find an actual proper Ace Attorney scenario actually. So
Sweet. I also found. Let's see what is this one rated. I also found one that's Daredevil. So you play the vigilante Daredevil, who is also an attorney. That could be an interesting one too.
I know nothing about Daredevil, but I'd be willing to try.
No, go with what you've got. If you've got one, let's do it.
All right, how am I doing this? Do I just hit the share button
Yep.
and roll with it? All
Let's
right.
roll.
I'll try to make it so that we can read the text. I'll make the text nice and large. I actually purchased a new monitor specifically for AI Dungeon, 4K, 240 hertz, so that I can AI Dungeon. It's OLED, so I can see the nice inky blacks on the text.
Yeah, a high refresh rate is really important
Exactly.
for AI Dungeon.
If
Yeah,
you don't have a high refresh rate, how are you going to wait? Is it going to window AI Dungeon share? Like you can't even see how smooth my mouse moves on AI Dungeon, but it's so smooth now.
amazing. I'm gonna comment as though I'm there with you. I think it looks amazing. Worth it. Worth the investment. Every dollar you spent.
All right, and then I have to see what model we want to use for this because I think I actually went into DevTools yesterday and gave myself like Super Apocalypse for testing something. So got a lot
Nice.
of got a lot of choices. All right.
Dynamic DeepSeek is a good choice.
Dynamic DeepSeek is going to be my go-to, at least to start. All right. Are we all set?
Let's go.
All right. I'm so sorry, everyone, if I decide to do voices. We'll see how it goes. Just try not to cringe too hard. All right. You are a lawyer working for Write Anything Agents. Write Anything Agency.
That's pretty
Case
good.
file. The People versus Disaster. Locations: the detention center, the police station, the Write Anything Agency, the courthouse. Miles Edgeworth's office, which is currently unavailable because he's on an international investigation. Do not disturb. I should disturb him. That's the first thing when I see do not disturb that I think of. All right. Prosecutor Winston Payne, the rookie killer, is back on the docket. His hairpiece gleaming with renewed confidence. All right. And then the defendant is Disaster. I'm not feeling too good about having to defend a guy who's literally named Disaster, but
Feels
some
like he may have a reputation to live up to.
so um I also know nothing about the case, but that's how I like my cases in court. I enjoy when I have no clue what's happening. I think technically I can actually go to the locations. I think this is how this is set up and actually like try to get information first. So maybe I'll do that. Actually, yeah, I'll try. I'm going to I go to the holding cell. I'm gonna assume he's been arrested. That makes the most sense. To speak to the client Disaster and figure out what is going on. I'm an excellent attorney who hasn't been briefed on the case until I'm already doing discovery.
You know, I think that happens. I've actually listened into some courtroom hearings, like actual courtroom hearings before, and like sometimes people don't have an attorney, so they get one assigned, right? And it like on the fly, it's like suddenly they're the attorney, like, what's going on? Don't, and then like they'll start advising their client, like, don't say anything, like right there on front of the judge. It's like, all right,
Just keep your mouth shut. Did you do it? Actually,
yeah,
that's exactly what I'm gonna ask. First thing, all right. I discreetly check for hidden microphones. I don't trust these guys. And look at D. How do I spell this? Disaster. So, did you do it? I mean, that's the most important thing. I just need to know if he did it. Then I'm still gonna defend him, but my
yeah,
strategy is definitely gonna be a lot. Oh, are you? Someone in chat said that I'm a public defender. That is.
yep,
I am
that makes
clearly
sense.
the highest quality. He paid millions for me. Millions at least. The visitor's room is Spartan, and as far as you can tell with a quick glance, devoid of any obvious surveillance equipment beyond the standard camera in the upper corner. The guard is watching, but from a distance. On the other side of the plexiglass, Disaster slumps in his chair. Oh, he's very confident. This is going to be great. He's 28, 5'7", with a mop of chaotic brown hair that looks like it's been through a wind tunnel backwards. I feel personally attacked a little bit.
I was gonna say, how did they know?
How did they know? All right, I'm going to continue. I need to get some answers from this man.
I love how he just blatantly didn't answer the question.
Yeah, I was too busy inspecting how he looked. Wait. Oh, that's a terrible answer. Disaster's head snaps up. His eyes are startlingly bright hazel, wide with panic. No, I mean, well, it's complicated. That's I don't know what to do with that as an attorney. That's not good. He fidgets with his cuffs, his fingers tapping a nervous rhythm on the metal. I was there, okay? I was definitely there, but I didn't kill anyone. Oh, well, he's been accused of murder apparently.
Okay.
Good thing I didn't go in because I was originally going to defend him for tax fraud. That would have been really awkward with the judge. I just walked in.
Yeah, yeah. I had my heart set on jaywalking, but we should put. I guess we could put that portion of the law code away, and we'll go to.
Yeah, I'm a professional on murder. A professional on getting people off of being prosecuted for murder. Not a professional in murdering people, just to clarify, for legal reasons.
That's my job.
Yeah. I was going to actually mention you're in the murder shed.
That's right.
It's honestly, it's becoming like a comforting thing to see. I'll know if you're replaced by an alien because you'll be in like a room rather than a shed.
I know. Now we can never finish this office. It has to stay this way forever.
All right. So, I rub my forehead with a sudden migraine. Kill someone? And they sent me? I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I'm the first guy they should have sent. I feel like there's several other people that they could have sent. Thankfully, I probably have a law book in my office somewhere. I,
When you say that you've passed a bar, you're not referring to the legal test. You're referring to a bar on the side of the road that
yeah,
was selling alcohol. Like
yeah.
you passed the bar.
I passed the bar, and when I entered the bar, I hit my head on a bar. So, and
Yeah.
that's when I was disbarred.
Ah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know that was terrible. That was really bad.
You went for it. I'm proud of you. That's great.
Yeah.
Never apologize for an attempted pun.
You are not the best man for the job, but you're the man he has. Thank you, Jack. You're making me feel much better about myself. I am the man he has. All right. Kill someone and they set me. I exhale sharply, resisting the urge to bang my head against the plexiglass. All right. Start from the beginning. Who exactly did you allegedly not kill? D leans forward, his cups clinking against the table. Okay, so it was this fancy party, right? At the Museum of Historical Oddities. There was this big exhibit opening, ancient artifacts, cursed or just misunderstood. Kind of feels like me, cursed or just misunderstood. And I may have been hired as the caterer, waiter / entertainment. He coughs into a sieve. I do a mean souffle flambe. Wow, he does a lot of stuff.
Hang on. Cater? Is that supposed to be caterer? Probably.
Yeah, probably caterer. So
but he's a criminal, so he's speaking in spelling errors. But so the caterer, waiter, entertainer. That's a combo.
So he's making the food, he's serving the food, and he's entertaining at the same time. And apparently flambe. So he's going around with like a flaming pan while entertaining. That's impressive. Does he juggle them?
Who knows? I mean, that would be entertaining. I mean, here's the wild thing. Apparently, it's a big fancy party at this huge museum, and they only have budget for the one man show, entertainment, service, catering. That's immediately suspicious.
I blinked twice silently. Dear Lord, did you juggle the pans and accidentally kill someone? I'm curious if it's like if something accidental happened or if like he got framed for something. I feel like it's more interesting if someone is framed, but like he was in such a public place, how could he be framed? Like he was in front of everyone, entertaining and flambeing, you know?
That's right.
Disaster's hands fly up defensively, his cuffs rattling. Okay, I did juggle the pans, but that's not the problem. He leans in conspiratorially, lowering his voice to a whisper shout. See, the victim was this fancy pants artifact collector, Mr. Antique. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
I just got that.
Man, whoever did this scenario, like, applause on the naming. Well done.
That was really good.
Yeah,
it broke me out of character.
I love a good pun.
Mr. Antique, real old money type, always complaining about kids these days. He was inspecting this cursed amulet, supposedly cursed, I mean, when bam, he just drops dead. Dee's fingers twitch like he's reliving the moment. And then, get this, the amulet vanished. Poof, gone. And then suddenly I'm the one covered in,
Okay, wait, what? There's a lot going on here.
There is a lot going on here. He was talking to the
amulet?
guy.
When did we talk about an amulet, or did that just kind of show up?
It's the Museum of Historical Oddities.
That may or may not be cursed.
So it probably is actually cursed. Except I'm a law student. No, I'm not a student. I passed I am a man of the law, and I don't believe in that stuff. I only believe in cold hard facts and in eating salad. I scratched my head. Please tell me you were covered in anything other than blood. Anything. Flambe, please. If he's just covered in blood at the scene, we've got a real problem.
Yeah.
That is going to be hard for me to we can say it's tomato sauce. It's fine. I have a feeling this guy's in trouble. I'm good at BSing, but there's only so far I can go. He's not giving me a lot to work with. Disaster's eyes dart left, then right. He lets out a nervous chuckle that sounds like a deflating balloon. Oh, well, it was more of a raspberry. I don't know. That's too French. That word is too French for me to pronounce. Is that Coly?
You know, I'm not cultured enough to tell you one way or the other either.
Oh no, we need someone more cultured.
I have to admit, whenever I go to restaurants that are like too fancy, I get uncomfortable. I can't tell you how many times I've been at a restaurant and it's like they'll have descriptions like this, like raspberry coulis or coulis or whatever this is, and I'll like secretly have my phone and be like Googling what is that. I can tell you my best move. Sorry, we are way off tangent now.
No,
that's
it's
okay.
fine.
We're a live stream.
That's a good way you go.
My new move is to take a photo and put it into ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini.
That is so on brand.
Yeah, and then just say, describe this menu to me in terms that like a 12-year-old would understand, and it'll explain what this stuff is, and it's beautiful. And then I can order like I know what I'm actually talking about. It makes me feel so much better because I feel like an idiot every time I see stuff like this on a menu because I'm just not, I don't know, not cultured enough.
The thing I love is when I go to a restaurant nowadays and they purposefully write like normal items out in the most like bougie terms possible to make it sound like I got something at a restaurant. It was definitely chicken parm. It was chicken parm, but it was like braised chicken with a tomato reduction and parmigiana. And it's like, just say chicken parm. Like, it's okay. I know it's that. You know it's that. We don't gotta call it a tomato reduction. It's marinara sauce, okay? We all know what it is.
Here's my theory. Ready? Because you know how people enjoy like doing like LARPing or like dressing up for like things like Comic-Con and stuff like that. It's a role play. I think some people like to role play as pretentious like bougie people, and
I think
I think the restaurants are in on it, and I think the people are in on it. Everyone just wants to feel like they're something else, and I think it's just I think it's another form of like role play, but people like to role play that they're
I think you're right on the dot. Good thing we're like a role play company. We can analyze these, or at least you can. I missed it, but you got it. You figured it out.
Well, I've looked it up. It's pronounced Kulas.
What? No. Kulas?
Kulas.
Yep. Kulas. That should be a U, okay? All right. And maybe a little bit of powdered sugar, and okay, fine, it was blood, but it was splatter, like dramatic, theatrical splatter, not murder splatter. What's the difference?
Yeah, we're not getting a straight answer from Disaster.
He slumps back in his chair, his chaotic hair seeming to deflate with him. Look, Mr. Wright, I was just trying to make the souffle extra dramatic for the big reveal. I had the flambe pan going, and when Mr. T collapsed, I jumped back, and the pan went flying, and yeah, he looks genuinely miserable. I didn't touch him. I swear on my favorite whisk. I feel like I've brought his voice through like 5 things. I keep forgetting what I was doing, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna.
Can I admit I'm losing my patience with Disaster a little bit?
I am too, actually. I'm gonna bully the AI into giving me something useful. I'm gonna say I pull out the evidence folder, which hasn't been mentioned to this point. But I have the power of being the prompter, and look at the scene of the crime. There we go. Please be detailed. I'm gonna beg it. Please.
There's nothing worse than like trying to ask somebody a question and they just can't give you like a succinct, clear answer, and you like feel like you have to ask the same thing over and over and over again. Disaster is one of those people to me.
It seems
clear.
I'm kind of curious how a disaster knows what a murder blood splash even looks like. If you were to ask me, I'd probably go, I don't know. I don't know what it looks like when someone got murdered. You know? All right, we got
That's fair.
the evidence file, the crime scene photos of the Museum of Historical Oddities. I flip over in the folder, the glossy photos slide out onto the table. The crime scene is a spectacle, even by my standards. And I have high standards. The Grand Hall. The photo captures a lavish exhibit hall draped in deep crimson banners with gold trim. A massive banner reads, Ancient Artifacts. Cursed or just misunderstood in ornate script. The centerpiece is a shattered glass display case, shards glittering under the chandelier light. The victim, Mr. Antique. That name. A man in his late 60s lies sprawled on the marble floor, his tailored burgundy waistcoat rumpled. Okay, please give me some information about the blood and preferably murder weapon.
Please.
If we go another 5 minutes without useful information, I'm just going to court. I'm just gonna use what I have.
You're gonna wing it.
I may wing it. You know, I'm Phoenix Wright. The Phoenix has wings.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Okay. Waistcoat rumbled. He's wearing a pince nez spectacles.
I'm on it.
Now askew on his nose. One hand clutches at his chest. The other is outstretched towards the empty display pedestal. A small ornate dagger, ceremonial by the look of it, lies a few inches from his fingertips. The blade is clean. Okay, so the blade wasn't used. Huh. Around Mr. Teague, the marble is a Jackson Pollock of substances. All right, there's just splattered all over the place. Excellent. I like it says substances, so there's more than blood. There's blood, there's food, there's motor oil, paint. there's the raspberry coolest dimensioned, bright red and splattered in dramatic arcs. Powdered sugar dusts the scene like fake snow in a holiday display. And yes, there's blood, but it's concentrated in one small pool near his head. The most peculiar detail, a perfect circle of untouched marble around the body, as if someone drew an invisible boundary. Okay, fine, it's magic. I was saying before, I don't believe in magic, but I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna start believing.
We may not have a choice.
The missing artifact, the display pedestal's velvet cushion bears the distinct impression of something circular, lots of circles, about the size of a pocket watch, but whatever rested there is gone. A small placard reads, The Amulet of Amara. Legend claims its wearer cannot die. Well, I guess he was holding it, not wearing it, so technically not a lie?
Yet, is there warranty information on that amulet? Because
yeah,
it feels like they should get their money back.
He should get his life back. Actually, he should bring it up with death.
Yeah, talk to the manager.
All right, you know what? Like I said, I think this is enough to go off of.
I will say the small pool of blood near the head and the frying pan flying is kind of suspect. Although could it have hit him after he died? Who knows?
That's true. The frying pan fell onto his head like in a cartoon after he was already dead?
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Anything could have happened. I was gonna make a joke, but I realized that the reference would probably go over everyone's head, so I'm gonna skip it. All right, I step behind the podium, totally and absolutely prepared and not at all winging it. All right, let's see how this goes. What could possibly go wrong? I am a professional. I am not going to get thrown out of the courtroom.
I trust. I mean, you passed a bar, so
allegedly.
Oh, I stand by my story. You passed a bar.
All right, we're in courtroom number 4. Very important information, by the way. Like, now I know which courtroom I'm in.
Yeah. Number 3. I'm just glad we're not in 3.
Yeah, 3 is cursed, actually.
Yeah.
3 is where the hamster ate the dude. It's not a pretty place. The polished wood of the defense's podium feels solid under your palms. You straighten your tie. A familiar, comforting gesture. Across the aisle, Winston Payne adjusts his hairpiece with a
I just
smug.
barely got that name too. Did you
Oh,
pick that one up?
Winston Payne. That's a good one.
I don't know. This creator deserves props just for the name selection.
It's beautiful. Adjusts his hairpiece with a smug flourish, the light glinting off the lacquered surface. The gallery is a low murmur of anticipation. I can speak. The judge, a man with eyebrows so expressive they deserve their own courtroom. I got a Slack notification, but I'm gonna ignore it. Hopefully I don't get in trouble at work.
Yeah.
Bangs his gavel. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Disaster. Prosecutor Payne wastes no time. He strikes a pose, one hand on his hip. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The case is simple. The defendant, in a reckless display of so-called culinary theatrics. So-called. It clearly was theatrics. Maybe not successful, but you can't call it so-called. I mean, he was flambeing in public. Caused a fatal disturbance.
I also think it's just unfair for him to call into question an entire discipline of work that many people these are blue collar jobs.
That's true.
You know, I think we need to win the sentiment of the jury with that. Like, what are you doing coming after these blue collar workers in the culinary theatrics? You know what I mean?
It's a dying art.
Let's get him on the emotional appeal.
Yeah, no, I agree. Caused a fatal disturbance leading directly to the demise of the venerable Mr. Antique. I clear my throat for a full 4 seconds, standing tall, and never breaking eye contact.
Oh man,
with the prosecutor.
You are hardcore.
I have to like assert myself here. The defense takes offense to your blatant trampling over the honor of respectable blue-collar workers in the entertainment and culinary... I don't want to say industries. I want to say something fancier than industries.
Fancier word than industries.
There's another word I'm looking for here.
What's the French word?
I'm going to say arts. I'm just going to say arts. Culinary arts. You know, sounds good.
Everything
However,
has to be French, so I thought we might need to pull that out.
We will overlook this severe transgression and simply focus upon the error in your claims. The fact that there is no evidence that anything my client has done actually directly led to the death of the... what am I going to call him? I wonder if I can call him something that isn't too disrespectful, but also... I'm just going to call him a victim. I probably shouldn't mess around with that. That's probably a spot where I should just be a good person. Don't speak ill of the dead.
Fair enough.
He did play around with a cursed amulet, though, so, I mean...
Yeah, a bit of a... I mean, reckless... You know, reckless in a different way, perhaps. You know, maybe not reckless with his culinary theatrics, but reckless in his dabbling of artifacts cursed. Cursed they may be or not. Who knows?
I'm starting to lean towards cursed, honestly.
But you don't believe in those things.
I don't, but sometimes it's easier to win the case if I pretend to have beliefs that I don't. It's called
Are
It's
your
called
core
having
values being shaken?
it's called having no personal integrity.
I mean, you are playing a lawyer after all, so it's
That
okay.
is true. The judge blinks, his eyebrows performing a complicated little dance of confusion. Yes, quite. The defense makes a passionate point. Winston Payne scoffs, smoothing his lapels. Your Honor, the evidence speaks for itself. The victim died at the scene of the defendant's chaotic performance. Coincidence? I think not. He slams a hand on his desk. The prosecution calls its first witness, the head of the museum's security, Mr. Albisher. Oh, come on.
Oh man.
The doors swing open, and a man in a crisp, dark blue security uniform strides in. He's in his early 50s, tall and rigid, with a posture so straight you can use him as a ruler. His salt and pepper hair is buzzed short, and his sharp eyes scan the room with military precision. I'm just going to continue and let him speak.
Yeah. I
The
I have a
AI
feeling
did
Al's not gonna mess around here.
Yeah, I'd be sure of that.
Uh-huh. Is that his father? I'll be sure.
You know,
With his son,
probably.
I'll be sure.
You'll be sure. I'll be sure. You'll
Yeah.
be sure. There's so many
They'll.
different names you could have there. I'm reading chat. Latitude should stream reading embarrassing private stories and just hack everyone. Great idea, guys. Why haven't we done that already? We're here playing AI Dungeon and we could just be leaking employee information instead.
Amazing. Yeah.
I'm sure HR would love that idea.
Yeah. I think they may even be suggesting embarrassing player stories, which would be worse.
All right, Mr.
You know what would be horrible? Which we could probably do
Uh-oh.
if we did it with published scenarios.
Uh-oh.
It would be interesting sometime to go through the scenarios that get flagged for moderation.
I have
so
a
people
feeling
can see the depths of what gets removed from the platform.
I do actually keep an eye on like the community, like the internal channel we have for like the scenarios when we decide whether or not they're allowed. And I've raised my eyebrow so high sometimes on the things like that people will try to pass by the filters, and it's like, man, come on.
Yeah, there's been some winners for sure. I'll never, man. I know we keep doing these kind of side conversations, but like I still remember like it was pretty early within the first year of working here, and we we're like deep in the middle of this discussion of like what actually counts as bestiality, and I just remember pulling up and being like, what is even happening? Like I'm talking about the definition of bestiality at work. That's fun. But the specifics matter in these things. All right, back to
Yeah,
disaster.
it took me 3 seconds to think about it. At first I was like, that's ridiculous. And then I was like, well, I guess there is some nuance considering I'll shut up now. I don't want to taint my own name.
Yeah.
All right. There are no beast folk or cat girls in this scenario, so we do not have to worry about it. All we have is people with names that are very punny. All
Nice
right. So, Mr. Albie Sure takes the stand, placing one hand on the Bible and the other firmly on his utility belt. Oh no, he's like a blue-collar worker, isn't he? That's going to throw us off if he doesn't side with us after that impassioned speech. His voice is low, confident baritone that doesn't need the microphone. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Prosecutor Payne puffs out his chest. Mr. Sure, please describe the events of the night in question from your Sure point of view. Oh, come on.
Aww.
Come on. You can't use his name like that. That's terrible. Albie Sure nods once. A sharp, economical. Why am I... This is a rough day for me, okay? I've been reading a lot of code. Economical motion. I was monitoring the Grand Hall via security cameras and conducting periodic patrols. At approximately 8:47 p.m. Oh man, he even has like it down to the minute. That's not good. I observed the
Yeah.
defendant, Mr. Zaster, begin his performance. His
Man, the
lip twitches
skepticism with this performance is
almost
just, yeah.
imperceptible. You know what? I slam my hand on the podium. Objection!
Yes. Get him.
The witness is using
It's clearly biased.
his bias against the fine arts to cloud his judgment and make a mockery of justice.
I demand a retrial.
I demand the first time something happens. I have to add it. That's. Have you ever seen people who defend themselves in court?
Yes.
Like especially high-profile people. They pull things like that so often. It's so funny.
I went down like a YouTube, TikTok black hole for a couple weeks of like the sovereign nation believers, right? That like they get pulled over and they're like, I don't need a driver's license
They got
because I'm a
the
sovereign
license
citizen.
plate. Yeah.
Sovereign citizens, and therefore I have the right to travel or something. And
Because of the Commerce Clause of the Constitution, technically you can't stop interstate commerce. So if you consider yourself commerce instead of a citizen, technically, no.
yeah,
No. I've actually seen on the road someone with one of the license plates. They sell them on Amazon, the sovereign citizen license plates. I have got to admit that selling those license plates, because they're like $50, that's a good business.
that's true. That's true. Somebody's making a good living off of those. That's a good point. I just paid to get um, the chance to get a special license plate. Actually, believe it or not, the the local crab commission is trying to get a crab license plate in my state, and I want a crab license plate.
You want
so
a
I
crab
applied.
license plate? That is
Yeah,
incredible.
and I
That
had to put down $40 just to. It's like they're like trying to like crowdfund it essentially. The government required them to get like a couple thousand people to sign up for it, so I'm one of them. I'm hoping for a crab license plate.
that is incredible.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my state doesn't have crab license plates. We do have a few exciting ones though, so it's okay. Not as cool. Bang! Bang! Your objection echo. Oh wait, I have an echo. Objection. No wait, no, that's the wrong one. Objection. No, that's also the wrong one. Objection.
You've got effects?
I
Amazing.
do. I have like a little board.
Oh man.
Objection.
Perfect.
So fancy. Your objection echoes through the courtroom like a firecracker in the library. It works better if I remember which effect is which,
No, this
but
was better.
it was better. I just said it in every way possible. The judge's eyebrows shoot up so high they nearly vanish into his hairline. This is funny because I've played Ace Attorney. The judge is bald, so
Oh,
that's just an extra layer of it being entertaining. Winston Payne staggers back, clutching his chest as if physically wounded by your words. Mr. Wright, you can't just demand a retrial during the trial. You jab a finger towards LB. I forgot to give it instructions not to act for me, so we'll see how cringe I am. Your Honor, the witness clearly has a personal vendetta against performance art. His testimony is tainted by his own rigid and unimaginative worldview. LB's Schur's jaw tightens. His fingers twitch against his belt, his tailwind irritated. I assure you, my observations were strictly professional. Okay, I'm gonna let him keep going. I don't think I can object twice in a row. I may get thrown out.
you may.
I don't
But
even. What is this? Oh, he's head of security. I was gonna say, what does this guy even do? I probably should pay better attention to the trial.
I mean, I don't know if you have to. You're just the defending lawyer is all.
That's true. It's true. The judge sighs, massaging his temples. Mr. Wright, While your enthusiasm is noted, the court will not grant a retrial based on artistic bias. However, he peers down at LB. Sure. It's kind of confusing. I was like, that's a new sentence. I was like, wait, no, his name is actually Sure. The witness will refrain from editorializing. Stick to the facts, Mr. Sure. Prosecutor Payne adjusts his hairpiece, which had gone slightly askew. Very well. Mr. Sure, please continue. Factually. LB Sure gives a curt nod. At 8:47 p.m. I was really hoping he'd change the time and that I'd be able to, oh, you messed up. And
Slam
no,
him.
he got it right. At 8:47 p.m., the defendant began juggling 3 flaming saute pans. Oh, God. 3 of them. That doesn't sound very safe. I don't know how to
No.
spin that. At 8:48 p.m., he added a 4th. Oh, no. At 8:49 p.m., he attempted to add a 5th. No! A copper bowl containing what appeared to be a pre-whipped dessert topping. His eyes
Pre-whipped
narrow
dessert topping.
slightly. Okay, wait. He added a 4th pan. Did he add a 5th? He added a bowl, not a 5th pan. I'm just being pedantic here, but he could have said that more clear.
But we're not really getting. We've tried that. We're not really getting away with much.
No, that's true.
I just like.
Oh, I've got something. I've got something. I have a way to
Okay.
throw the entire case into disarray. I clear my throat aggressively. Not because I have a cold, but because I am justice. Your Honor! We are all ignoring the elephant in the room. While a man may have died, the priceless amulet disappeared. Where did it go? Was this a cover for a heist? I flail my arms dramatically and play a woman gasping dramatically noise on my phone discreetly.
I'm curious to see how long they'll tolerate these antics.
I am a professional, okay? I am a professional. Mr. Wright, put that phone away, and for heaven's sake, stop impersonating scandalized society ladies. Dang it! He looked through the entire thing immediately. You've got to be kidding me.
Man.
I really thought this was gonna work. Prosecutor Payne clutches his chest again, his face contorting into a perfect mask of melodramatic offense. Your Honor, the defense is clearly trying to distract from the defendant's reckless, nay, homicidal. Whoa, that was he really went for it there. Kitchenware mismanagement. But the gallery murmurs. You planted the seed. Where's the amulet? I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's the closest thing we've come to having some progress in the court case. I do have to say I love the phrase homicidal kitchenware mismanagement.
Yeah, I feel like that only applies in a few very specific circumstances.
No, you're right. It's not a broadly used term. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't know how you cook, so like maybe sometimes when like my 1-year-old is trying to climb on me while I'm cooking, sometimes I could get close to there. But generally, I don't like drop things onto the child. I'm pretty good about that now. I've learned.
Nicely done. Yeah, yeah. I have a family friend that says all of our kids start off as geniuses and then they fall and hit their heads on the tables and stuff, and then they end up average over the time.
Ooh, I'm lucky
Just,
then. I was
just
dropped many times as a child, so
yeah. If you've been a parent, you learn not to shame people for the accidents that happen, because man, kids are squirmy and oh man.
I actually injured my shoulder the other day because my kid was squirming so hard. I like rolled my shoulder back, and it's terrible. Now I'm injured.
Oh, I've had a decade long injury because of um so I was telling my son about this the other day. Um we were at church of all places, and you know there was like one of those like hard wooden pews with like the hard back and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And he was probably like 2 or 3 or something, really young. He was kind of screwing around the back, making too much noise, whatever. So I kind of like leaned over the bench to grab him, and all of a sudden I just felt this like pop, and I it was a rib,
Uh-oh. Oh God.
and oh my gosh, it hurt so bad. And so for years I looked it up, and it's like you can't really do anything for a broken rib. So I was like, oh, I'll just leave it. But I think what actually happened was I slipped it out of alignment, and then it sort of like hardened in misalignment, and then like years later, like it would just keep hurting and hurting and hurting. And at one point I fell off my motorcycle. Um, I was off roading and re-injured it, and I was telling a coworker about it, and they're like, "That sounds like a slip." He played in like in Major League Baseball. He's like, "You should just go to a chiropractor. They can put it back into place." So I went to a chiropractor, um, and they felt it. And like, sure enough, it was a misplaced rib. And he's like, "It keeps going back. It's like a lot of scar tissue here." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's probably been that way for like 9 years." And he's like,
Oh God.
"All right." He's like, "We've got some work to do." So yeah,
Wow.
kids are like, look, they don't pay rent. They eat all your food. They don't contribute to society. They're just kind of they're kind of a menace. It's they injure you. It's yeah. And
But
here
they're cute, so
we call them our
like.
pride and joy. Yeah.
All right. So, the judge. That being said, the disappearance of the amulet is peculiar. He strokes his beard thoughtfully. Mr. Scher, did your security footage capture anything unusual regarding the artifact? Al B. Scher's posture stiffens further, if that's possible. I stand an inch taller, triumphantly. I'm pretty sure a spotlight highlights my grandness in the moment. Gotta play myself up a little bit.
I'm just glad that we have a little bit of progress being made on this
Well,
court case.
it's realistic. Do you know how long a court case takes, and then like, how much it costs? Like, I'm gonna be billing this guy by the hour, so like I'm going to drag this on as long as I possibly can. Um,
Hey, I commend you for trying to bring it to a head, because
are we overtime? Are we way overtime? Am I ruining?
no, we can keep going. I mean, we've scheduled our live streams for an hour.
I've
I'd be
I've
good to go for another half an hour or so
I've
if you
cleared
wanted
up
to.
my schedule until 1 in the morning, so I hope you're in for a long ride.
Oh boy,
Oh, I've
here we
done
go.
I've done streams over 20 hours long, so
Have
you
you really?
never underestimate.
Holy smoke!
I felt like I was going to die after, but that's a part of being a YouTuber.
You're hardcore. I
Hardcore.
may have to break for recess. Court pun. Court joke.
All right. We'll try to rush through this. We'll try to get through the trial. All right. A beam of light, purely coincidental, you're sure, cuts through the high courtroom window and lands squarely on you. You can practically hear the triumphant orchestra swell. The defense raises a valid point. The missing amulet cannot be ignored. He turns his stern gaze back to Albisher. Well, the footage? Albisher's jaw works silently for a moment. He clears his throat, a dry rasping sound. The camera covering the amulet's display case experienced a temporary malfunction. This sounds really familiar to real life incidents where cameras just magically don't work at the exact minute something happens. I won't be specific,
Yeah.
but everyone knows what I'm referring to in this case. I don't think the amulet stole itself. I don't think the amulet stole itself.
Mr. Al B. Sure suddenly became a little bit more suspicious to me.
Very suspicious. Like the guy who controls the camera is saying that the camera is turned off and getting a little defensive.
Yeah.
It's a
You
little
know,
suspicious.
the other move we have here. You know how sometimes when people lie, they have too much detail?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. I, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's like,
Oh, wait a second. The times. It malfunctioned at 8:48 p.m. But at 8:48 p.m. there would have been there would have been 4 p.m. When did he die? When did he
oh, well, maybe we should just let him. Here's another
Yeah.
technique: is sometimes when people are lying, you just let them keep talking, and
Yeah,
then you catch them. I don't think we want to tip. I don't think we want to tip our hand yet.
he's gonna
That
make a mistake.
yeah,
All right. I'm ready. I'm prepared for this.
yeah. We may have a chance.
Didn't anyone film it with their phone? Wow, Cypher, you're very observant of our modern day where everyone would just be recording the guy dying. That is true. They'd be like, "Oh my God, I gotta put this on TikTok. Look, this
Yeah.
guy is dying and there's a cursed amulet."
Well,
Repost.
if somebody's got three pans in the air, or four, and then is attempting a fifth with a brass bowl with pre-mixed dessert topping, um, someone's gonna have their phone out.
That's true. That's true. You know what? I may actually bring this up at court because you have a
Mm.
very good point. All right. A malfunction at the exact moment the amulet vanished. Mr. Sure. Are you suggesting this was a coincidence? Are you sure? Well, yes, I am sure. Mr. Albie Sure's eyes dart to the side for a fraction of a second before looking forward again. Locking forward again. The museum security system is state of the art, Your Honor. Glitches are statistically improbable, but not impossible. His voice remains steady, but a bead of sweat traces a path down his temple. Prosecutor Payne mops his own brow with a silk handkerchief. Your Honor, this changes nothing. The defendant's chaotic action still created the perfect diversion for this hypothetical theft. The judge taps his gavel thoughtfully. Perhaps, but I am now deeply interested in this malfunction, mister. All right, I'm jumping in now. There's two things I've noticed. First off, I'm going to I clap my hands together. As far as I know, from the substantial time I spent studying law, being distracting is not criminal behavior, nor is it murder. I'm calling into question the whole basis of the case now.
Yeah, I think that's a good play.
I take a long swig of water. A long swig of water, looking over the jury with a look of pure confidence and only a little terror. However, a larger discrepancy I have seen. Thank you, Chrome, for fixing my spelling there. How is it that a theatrical performance in the modern era, consisting of juggled flaming pans, was not caught on camera by the smartphones of the dozens of attendees? Isn't that odd?
This is amazing. Watch them come back and be like, smartphone. Back, you time traveler.
Back you time traveler. No, they definitely they did. This is definitely the modern day. Okay, who says malfunction in the 1800s, right?
Oh, I'm gonna highlight this comment. I like this.
Your Honor, if distraction is illegal, what's over there? If distraction is illegal, I don't think I should have my job. That's all I've been doing the entire case.
That's right.
Bang! The judge's gavel punctuates your question perfectly. I like how I'm just talking during the witness time. Like, this is not, I'm not supposed to be
Yeah,
speaking
we're
right
breaking
now.
convention here, of course.
But it's okay. I have to get back to I ordered some of those. Have you ever seen like those cookie stores where you can like have them delivered hot anytime? It's called like Insomnia Cookies. They'll like deliver cookies at your house in 2 in the morning. But in character, I have a cookie delivery, and I need to be back home to get the warm cookies. So, so I need this case to be over soon because I got cookies on the way.
I live far too rural to have heard of warm delivered cookies.
All right.
That sounds amazing.
I'm going to order cookies to your house, and I'm going to tell them find him by following the smell of salmon.
There you go.
The more salmony, the more it's probably him.
That's right.
And screams from the murder shed. That helps too. Once you get
That's true.
close. The judge's gavel punctuates your question perfectly. Prosecutor Payne's mouth opens and closes like a beached goldfish. I like that it's a goldfish. Like it could have chosen anything, and it chose a goldfish. Thank you, DeepSeek. You're so creative.
Goldfish notoriously getting beached all the time.
It's because goldfish just in the ocean, always washing up on shore.
Those famous ocean fish.
A salient point, Mr. Wright. In this age of incessant documentation, one would expect at least one selfie. I can almost cringe imagining the old guy using the term to have captured the event. L.B. Sher's rigid composure finally cracks. His eyes widen a fraction. The museum has a strict no photography policy during the viewing of sensitive artifacts. It was enforced. Prosecutor Payne seizes on this like a lifeline. There, you see, a policy enforced by the vigilant Mr. Sher. But something in L.B. Sher's delivery rings hollow, a faint, discordant note.
Be like, no photography policy. The museum's TikTok account would say otherwise.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. No photography policy. The museum zone. What did you say? TikTok page?
Yeah, TikTok account.
TikTok account would suggest otherwise, but even more concerning. One second. There was something I had and I just lost it. I need to rethink it. It was good.
It's probably because you tried to work in my dumb idea. That's
no, it was a good one though. Okay, one second. I think. Oh, but but fine. If you truly believe this, all documents from the museum were submitted to discovery. Show me the policy on paper now.
Well, before you send that off, someone else on the chat made a good point. Like, did they make it known to everybody? Well, I guess they said it was enforced, right?
Yeah, they did say it was enforced. Who allowed someone to juggle flaming pans in an area with sensitive artifacts? I'm actually very curious why we have a museum with sensitive artifacts where you are eating, yet you can't use photography because that would be too disturbing of the artifacts. But you can eat in the middle. Like, I've never been to a museum that allows you to like eat in the artifacts or art area. That's a very odd policy.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things here, but again, it was kind of a hoity-toity upper class
That's
event.
true.
So
It's probably like just like the art is probably just like a circle on a blank canvas, like circle 5, modern art.
well, yeah, I mean, it was the sensitive artifacts, right? So who
Sensitive
knows?
artifacts. Yeah, it was a cool section at least. The courtroom holds its breath. Prosecutor Payne fumbles with his stack of papers, his fingers trembling as he flips through them. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Ah, he holds up a single sheet of paper. Exhibit A, the museum's official event guidelines. I swear, Deep Seek, if you made this up on the fly. He hands it to the bailiff, who passes it to you. It's a simple, typed list of rules. You scan it quickly. Your eyes land on rule number 7. No flash photography permitted in the ancient artifacts wing. Flash photography.
Oh, oh,
Oh, see,
oh.
that's different.
This
You look
case
up,
just got blown wide open.
Your Honor, rule number 7 states no flash photography. It says nothing about a blanket ban on all photography. In fact, it specifically permits non-flash photography. The gallery erupts and murmurs.
Oh man.
I like that we aren't even discussing the dead man murder weapon. It's a murder case, and we've gone to arguing about the museum's flash photography policy.
So
And what
no joke until you
constitutes
said that. I
entertainment.
totally forgot this was a murder case. I was like, now I'm like, what did I even think we were arguing about?
uh, uh, I slam my hands on the desk.
Murderer.
Considering the convenient lapse in footage, the seeming lack of knowledge of his own security post rules, and his contempt for the defendant. And I'm actually going to throw in and victim. I have no evidence that he has contempt for the victim, but I'm gonna throw it in there because the rest of it's true, and I can probably slide it in and get them to agree. I'm just gonna frame this dude. I don't need to know who actually murdered. I just need to get my guy off scot-free. Okay, it's fine. I'm a defense.
That's right.
I'm a defense attorney. The victim. Should my client really be the man behind bars?
Oh.
I'm going there. I'm going there.
I like your style with this. I think I would be like far too like on the nose with what I would say. I love that you just called it into question. Like, is this really how it should be? You're much more theatrical with your
I am trained to be
dialogue
theatrical.
than I am.
That's how I am in the code reviews too. Was line 467 really the cause of the bug? Is that why story cards aren't working properly? Or is there something deeper here? That's how I am every code review. You just haven't seen it.
Thank goodness I don't do code reviews.
Bang. Oh, one second. I need to. The courtroom erupts. The gallery buzzes like a disturbed hornet's nest. Prosecutor Payne staggers back, clutching his chest as if struck by an invisible arrow of truth, even though part of that was like directly a bold lie. It's okay though, I'll take it. Judge, order! Order! His gavel cracks like thunder. Mr. Wright, are you seriously suggesting that Mr. L.B. Sure, a decorated security professional, had something to do with this crime? You lean forward, fingers steepled. Your Honor, I'm merely pointing out that the prosecution's case is built on sand, a missing amulet, a conveniently malfunctioning camera, a policy that doesn't exist, and a deeply suspicious lack of public footage. L.B. Sure's jaw tightens.
I don't love his body language all throughout. I mean, he had like white knuckles from gripping the stand. He's showing some nervousness.
Next thing we know, he's gonna smell like ozone, and then we'll know.
Then it's just game over.
Game over. I don't know. I feel like I can like pin him down, but without like, I need like a killing blow, like a way to prove that it was him without a
Well,
doubt.
since it's AI Dungeon, we can kind of pull stuff out of our back pocket. Like,
I
what
don't
if
want
you?
to cheat too hard.
That's fair.
Wait.
I'm
Okay,
a
okay.
cheater. I was gonna say like call up a surprise witness that did have a video evidence or something, but
I I'm going to
that's too
do.
much.
You ever see like Bones or CSI where they have like the computer simulation and they like zoom in on like Psying and it's
Oh,
completely ridiculous. It's my
what did it
least
say?
favorite.
Enhance,
Enhance.
enhance.
Okay, I'm gonna ready for this. I'm gonna make this full Hollywood.
Yeah.
I grin triumphantly. In fact, if we enhance this footage, the footage zooms onto the bottom of one of the pans mid-air, revealing
Reflection.
a reflection
This is so
behind
good.
the scene of the crime. Nobody noticed before. I should really work in Hollywood. That I legitimately think that this would happen on like a CSI show, like
No, no, no.
100%.
No,
Like
no, no.
enhance.
Hollywood should work for you.
That's true.
Yeah. Let's not flatter them with your employment. That you are the boss. You own them.
I've got casting ideas already. It's gonna be great. I just need some seed funding, and also the rights to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, and then we're gonna be golden. The courtroom scream. The courtroom scream. Wow, that was a beautiful flip there. The courtroom screen flickers, zooming in on the grainy, fiery reflection in the polished copper bottom of the pan. The image is distorted, warped by the curve of the metal and heat haze, but it's unmistakable. There, behind the chaotic spectacle of disastrous flaming pans, a figure is crouched behind the display case, holding the amulet of Amara. They are not looking at the performance. Their focus is entirely on the case, their hands working at its lock. The gallery gasps as one. Prosecutor Payne's jaw goes slack. The judge leans so far forward he nearly topples from the bench. By the legal heavens, is that Mr. Sure? The figure in the reflection wears a crisp, dark security uniform. I like he wore a security uniform to heist his own museum. Okay, ready? I'm gonna finish this off with a line that I think we've all been ready for.
All
I
right.
look into the judge's eyes. I'd be sure of that. Thank you.
Oh,
Because his name is Sure. It took you a second. I know.
that's. I have no words.
I even capitalized Sure to make sure it knows I'm using it as a name.
Do you need like a subtle wink or something?
I give a not subtle wink to the jury. I'd be sure of that.
That was. You know what? We had a few false starts with the puns. You really brought it home on this one.
Thank you. Thank
That
you.
was that was a champion winning.
I have tried to ensure that every moment of this stream has been as engaging as the AI dungeon platform as a whole, which is a very challenging, very challenging.
This is well done.
The judge's face contorts through a series of expressions: shock, disbelief, and finally, profound exasperation. He removes his glasses and pinches the bridge of his nose. Mr. Wright, your wordplay is, as ever, a punishable offense in its own right! In its own right! No!
Oh,
No, I don't think that was even intended, but it's so good.
No, the pun wasn't intended.
It
They,
wasn't
they didn't.
intended.
They didn't capitalize the right. It was pun
I
not
know.
intended.
It was
Gosh,
so
dang it!
close. However, your
It
point
was
is
right there.
devastatingly made. He turns his gaze to the witness stand, where Albie Schur stands frozen, his face a pale mask of panic. His previously immaculate posture is collapsed into a defensive hunch. Mr. Albie Schur, you are hereby remanded into custody on suspicion of theft, tampering with evidence, and being the architect of a truly abysmal pun-based alibi. Bailiff! All right,
Oh man,
that was great.
that was well done, man. Wow. So we've had some people in the chat allude because you mentioned earlier kind of the elephant in the room, but they've turned that into the name Ella Fant.
Oh God,
So
no!
feels like we might need Elephant to enter at some point here. Maybe that's the maybe Elephant is the court police.
I crack my knuckles. I think it's time to get Police Chief Elephant into the room. Do you think it'll get it? I'm not sure if it'll get it. I'm curious.
I don't know.
This is why and I'm gonna preface this with I'm not being serious, I'm joking. This is not a feature promise. This is why we need thinking in the AI models. We need to spend 8,000 tokens so that they can figure out every pun in my gameplay.
Yeah.
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 I think we're okay with like increasing our costs by a magnitude for that.
Yeah. Why
We're
not?
not the finance guys.
No. No, Ryan's not on this live stream.
Not yet. He's gonna barge in. I'm gonna hear
Yeah,
gather. Gather's gonna be ringing. Da-ding, da-ding.
Somewhere Ryan's like left elbow started tingling. He's like, all right, what's Devin doing now?
My finance senses are tingling.
Yeah, he's got a sense. He knows.
The bailiffs move with startling efficiency, their heavy steps echoing in the suddenly silent courtroom. In a flash, Albie Schur is in handcuffs, his face a grimace of pure, unadulterated rage. He doesn't struggle, he just glares at you with a venom that could curdle milk. Well, good thing I'm not milk.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a comeback.
It's hard to say with a straight face. So I didn't. Prosecutor slumped over on his bench, fanning himself weakly with his handkerchief. I need a glass of water and a new career. Case dismissed. The charges against Mr. Disaster are hereby dropped. Mr. Wright, a colorful victory, as always. Disaster leaps to his feet, his cuffs clattering. Yes, I'm free. I can go back to my culinary performance art. After the scene ends, and I walk along the street with my intern, I scratch my head. It's nice we saved. It's nice we saved him. But now that I think about it, isn't the murderer running free?
Oh.
My eyes dart to my apartment. Wait, there's cookies waiting for me. I just needed to get my priorities straight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know.
I
mean,
think
even a wildly successful defense attorney like yourself has to get fueled by their cookie every now and then.
your intern, a bright-eyed young woman with a perpetually frazzled ponytail, stops mid-step. Mr. Wright, are you seriously prioritizing cookies over catching a murderer? Yes. Yes, I am. The wind whistles ominously down the street. A newspaper tumbles past. The headline screaming, Amulet of Amara still missing. Okay, is the world trying to say there are unresolved things and that I should probably focus on other things? You hesitate. The scent of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies wafts from your apartment window like a siren's call. But then, bang! A distant explosion rocks the deep seek. What? 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 A distant explosion rocks the city. Smoke curls into the sky from the direction of the museum. Your intern clutches her briefcase to her chest. That's not good. A shadow passes overhead. You look up in time just to see VO. I don't know what pun that is.
VO.
Okay, can I rewind about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences? I want to rewind 6 sentences. What? Why did it explode?
Just when we thought we had everything tied up.
I was trying to make that like a funny ending, and then this really raised the stakes.
Retry. Actually, it's pretty surprising. We haven't erased anything. We haven't retried. We haven't had to do anything.
Okay, the other one makes more sense. It's like, okay, yeah, you can follow the cookies, or you can chase the truth. The amulet is still missing. Antique was murdered. My stomach growls. This one is probably a more fitting end.
This is like an appropriate like episodic TV show, like fades to black. It's like drawing you into episode, season 5, episode 17 of what is it? Gosh, what's the show that I used to watch all the time? CSI Miami.
CSI.
Horatio puts his glasses on and looks cool as the sun sets.
The last one was more of like a like the new Star Wars, somehow Palpatine returned for the next movie. Give us more money for the next theater showing. Bye.
Yeah. You're right. It kind of had that vibe. Like we just locked up I'll be sure, and then suddenly something explodes in the distance. It didn't even
use an existing plot thread. It was like there was the murder of the amulet, and it was like, it's not enough. We need an explosion.
Yeah.
We need game number 5, okay?
I was reading it too fast. Initially, I thought there was like an explosion. Then the intern clutching her chest was like she got shot.
Oh, God. That would have been really dark. And here you are. You saw me read it, and I wasn't concerned. And you're like, wow, Kobe is so heartless. His intern is dying, and he just completely glossed over that.
Well, I self-correct as like, wait, did I read that wrong? I did read it wrong. But then when you look up and see that VO character that was injected, I was like, maybe it was like the shooter kind of getting away sort of thing, and I was like, whoa, but I read it wrong. So
yeah, I mean, the only other way to end this would be like a proper Hollywood, like ending it with the title being like, and that's how I became Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, fade black, orchestra,
some narrated like cool out, like that's true. Like we almost need that's what this adventure was missing, was some sort of like underlying like thought narrative.
Oh yeah, like my internal monologue, like why I'm doing it. That's true.
Yeah.
For next time, next time I'll come up with like my character's own personal issues. Like I have an addiction to gambling, exotic hamsters.
Some internal struggle. You gotta
I was too perfect. I was a Mary Sue, honestly. Like I didn't face enough hardship during this.
You've got an ex-wife in Tulsa that's squeezing you for everything that you got.
I have to manage my own case.
That's right.
To keep my dog while I'm managing this case for someone else. And it turns out that my ex-wife was involved in the case.
Yeah.
She was one of the victims. Well, maybe not a victim. That would be sad. Like, yeah, maybe she's one of the suspects. But then if like I'd want her to get arrested, maybe to no,
Yeah, but then we could play with the internal conflict of like
yeah.
of you wanting her to be imprisoned, but at the same time you're committed to upholding the law. And how do you navigate that as
Oh,
the moral dilemma?
I wasn't even thinking about the laws. Like, I want her to be in prison. Man, she cooked so well. Ugh, the croissants.
You're an incredible lawyer. I wasn't even thinking about the
I
law.
wasn't even thinking about the law. I was coming up with other reasons that I'd have a personal dilemma about this. The law is just a job to me. My real passion is painting oil portraits that are then used for Voyage. I actually paint each one by hand on a little
Yes.
on a tiny little canvas and then scan it into the game. That's my
Yes.
passion.
Yeah. That's why it takes so long for us to make new ones, because they're all handcrafted in a physical space. And then you have to build the background,
It's true.
for them as well. And if they're like, it'd be photographed in front of a bonsai tree, you can't just like paint that. You have to grow the bonsai tree for them to stand in front of. I mean,
That's
it's a
true.
time consuming process
And
to,
I can't just paint people either. I need a reference. And it's really hard to go out and find like a vampire to draw. Like I have a lot of Craigslist ads right now that are like looking for werewolf for an art study and like I never get calls back. It's been like 3 months and nobody has called me. I
that's
started to send some messages over to Washington and Seattle. I hear they have a lot of like werewolves and stuff over there.
that's right. Out there in Forks. I've actually been there.
It's funnier. That makes it even funnier.
Yeah, I rode my motorcycle around the Olympic Peninsula, and I was driving through Forks, and I stopped at the little there's a little like museum for the what's the show called again? Um, Shoot, what was the name of the show called? Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight.
I couldn't even remember the name of the show.
I had a blank too for a moment. I just remembered funny vampire movies.
Yeah, I pulled over, and they had like a truck or something that was from the show that was parked outside, and I remember I just
Wow.
like took a photo with the truck, and I was like, well, if there's ever a moment. I mean, this isn't I never thought I'd be bragging about, of all the places I've been, this isn't the one I thought I'd ever
Yeah.
uh, brag about. But you did it, yeah.
Yeah.
Forks, Washington, they have vampires. It's true.
Yeah, I mean it's always raining. It just makes sense.
Yeah,
Just makes sense.
it's true. Well, I would say this was a successful playthrough. Well done. Way to bring it home. Way to close the case. Also, like
I
really well selected scenario. Like whoever created this was great. I thought the puns on the names were amazing. Um, I'm surprised. And DeepSeek did a great job too. Like I was surprised. Like no retries, like this was really great. That was awesome.
No, it didn't do anything like super weird and it was very creative. I actually I'm not gonna I'm not gonna hype up our tech too much as an engineer, but I have found that dynamic DeepSeek has been way more stable than just straight up DeepSeek. Like it really avoids freaking out and like going in circles and stuff. So
Yeah, this was solid. This was really
um
good.
I should have enabled 128,000 contacts. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been necessary. I don't. We're not even close. Let's see.
I
View
don't know.
content.
I feel like wow, we didn't hit 4,000.
Wow. We what? We that entire thing fit into 4,000 tokens?
Hey,
Wow. I'm actually shocked. I thought it would have been like 16,000.
that should be our slogan. More fun per token.
More fun. More FPT. That's our new measurement. FPT. Fun per token.
Fun per token.
Not
Yeah.
to be confused with NFT because that's
Not
a
no.
completely different concept.
Yeah. Yeah. We would never want that. Um oh, some they're requesting that we show who made the scenario. Let's give them some
Oh, that
credit.
that is that is a really good point.
I
Um,
agree.
let me figure out. Let me find it. I'm not going to open my AI Dungeon homepage on stream, so I'm going to look for it in another tab because I'm not leaking anything no matter how many times Discord tries to get me to leak things.
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing it. Not today.
You
Maybe
are not the leak
tomorrow.
master. That's my job.
Yeah, but you're allowed to. There's a difference here. Is it really a leak if it's allowed?
That's a good question.
All right, we got right
I will
here.
I will say I have uh, sometimes leaked things without getting permission ahead of time. And
Was it worth it?
well, I'm still employed. Um, I think Nick is no longer blocking me on his phone.
That's great. All right, it's the Ace Attorney RP to a turnabout. Eat ramen, investigate crimes, and fight for justice in Japanifornia.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's by Bobo Go Bingley. So highly appreciate the scenario. It's kind of a diamond in the rough with only
that was solid.
128 plays. So I would definitely suggest trying it out. It was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, most important question. Did the new monitor make this experience better? Yeah, the 240 hertz, especially when scrolling up and down with the text, the smoothness actually increased my creativity, and I could almost feel a loosening in my joints. Um,
Well, for me, every time the gavel banged, it was like I was there. You know, like it was like I could feel the the waft of the air kind of being displaced by the gavel swinging.
Yeah, that's actually why I'm wearing my Sennheisers right now, my open back surround sound, so that I could hear like every deflection of my own voice through the feedback because I have some side
Yes.
tone on. It worked really well, and I mean, I could just pretend to be an old radio guy from like the 90s, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like we would need one of those. I feel like we need a table with like different sound effects. You know, like the little whoop, little slide whistle
yeah.
and um, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, sort of like some coconut shells that we can bang as horse hooves, and we need to be more prepared to sound effects next time. So
That's true. That's true. I have my stream deck, which I don't ever use for anything. So I'd love to add like 87 sound effects to it. It would be my absolute honor because right now I literally just have a record button and a capture or disable my camera button. Those are the two things that generally when I'm live are important. Turn off the stream or turn off my face.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've people have told me they wish they had a button for me like that in real life. Turn off my face.
That's too mean. That's too mean to yourself. I've
I
seen
mean,
so many glorious fan arts of you on the Discord that you're probably either aware of or not aware of, and they're very tasteful.
well, look, I can't blame the people that do want to turn the face off because I have to look in the mirror every morning just to make sure it's okay. And it's like I get it, you know what I mean? Like I get it. It's okay.
I
I
just realized
accept.
I'm not wearing my AI dungeon hat. I should have been wearing my AI dungeon hat the whole time.
Yeah, I bring mine out for special occasions. I wore my A Dungeon hat on the stream we did for the Aura launch.
Aura
I think
Aura was good.
yeah, I think A Dungeon hat is a launch day hat. I think that might be the thing.
I still need a voyage hat though. I'm waiting on a voyage hat.
Oh, yeah, they're coming now that we have the logo made.
Did we
We'll
show
get
people
some.
the logo? Is it public
We
now?
did. Yeah, we did a live
Oh,
stream a few weeks ago. We showed the logo to the community.
I
We
need to
did.
watch the AI Dungeon YouTube channel more often.
Yeah. Well, I would be upset about that, but I prefer that you're making Voyage instead. So I'm not going to fault you.
Instead of watching YouTube, you want me to work?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's horrible,
Oh,
right?
oh.
I know. I'll tell you
Discord
what
agrees
though.
with me, actually. I see them. They're all saying Spike should be able to do what he wants throughout the day. Actually, nobody said that. I lied. I was scrolling. I was
I
scrolling
was like,
up.
where did you see that
I
one?
was scrolling up to find one person who agreed with me, but it looks like they all actually want me to work.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Mm,
Sorry. Yeah.
mm.
I'll tell you what though. We'll pay you for this stream, but from now on, but you do need to get back to if I need to see like 3 PRs by the end of the day, otherwise, uh, there will be trouble in Hamsterville.
All right, that sounds great. I'm gonna tag you as the preferred reviewer for those three,
Sweet.
just to make sure that you see them, and then
Yeah.
you can let me know how the code looks.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm great at that. I'm great at that. The joke is I'm not a developer, everyone, so I shouldn't be reviewing code.
He's a developer. He's a developer of community greatness.
Yeah, I develop relationships and um, puns. Cool. Well, everybody, thank you for joining the live stream. Thanks especially Kobe for doing this. I mean, well selected, well played.
I am always up to stream for job. Sounds it's a good thing for me. It's fun and I like the community.
Yeah,
They're currently my favorite community right now at this moment.
sweet, sweet. I thought you were gonna pull
Don't
one of those, like of all the communities I'm a part of, you're one of them. I thought you were gonna pull one of those.
technically I have my own like YouTube community I'm throwing under the bus, but they're not gonna watch this anyway, so it's okay. They
Yeah,
don't know. They don't know I'm cheating on them. It's okay.
that's right. That's right. We won't tell, and then they won't tell. Like our community will keep it safe too.
Yeah, they would never throw me under the bus for
No,
anything ever. That's
no,
never
no, no.
happened. That's not how my name ended up being Lemon Cake in chat. Nope. They've never been mean to me.
That's right.
Not once.
Oh. And also, the internet is famous for being kind and respectful, and never and always doing what you ask them to.
That's true. I've never gotten a mean comment before on YouTube. They've all just been very productive, motivational, and highly correct.
That's right.
Well
That's right.
researched.
It's just yeah. That's a good point too. They always well researched.
Have
uh,
I ever told you how many videos? So a lot of my videos are like space themed.
mhm.
There are a lot of flat earthers who go on my videos and literally just leave comments like the Earth isn't round, man, and like they start arguing in my comments about how my space games aren't accurate. It's a good time. I love it.
That's
So,
that's amazing.
no matter how interesting the AI dungeon community can get, we are not at that level, okay? There's nobody arguing in chat that the Earth is flat that I have seen in AI dungeon.
Well, great. I'm now I'm
That's
sure
the
that we'll get
bar.
a few. Yeah, I'm sure that'll start now.
Flat Earth
You've just created
scenario.
new lore for AI Dungeon.
I know.
Well, thank you for doing this. Yeah, well, I think we'll end up doing some more of these. This was a lot of fun, and yeah. Well, appreciate everybody. We will see you next week for the next live streams. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.